Good evening, folks. It's 20 to 2 in the morning. I'm working night shift as normal in Marco's H or Corsham. Got a load of new code, unbelievable stuff again, and a message that, well, another breakthrough in coding from the Bible. Right, okay. Firstly, unbelievably, the Giza Pyramid that I did last time, if you were to think this was just a lucky strike, a coincidence or whatever, just by a miracle, looking into the Pleiades, because that's the one message I've got, is I'm going to release the sweet influences of the Pleiades and show you the message in it, which is extraordinary. But after decoding it, I sort of just randomly, for whatever reason, it came into my head to just look up and see what people were saying about the sweet influences of Pleiades, as a general thing, to see if anybody had come up with anything substantial, and how this came, at first I didn't realise that this had anything to do. Well, I'll show you. Okay, so what came up is a connection with the Pleiades to, right, firstly we've got Giza Pyramid. Let's just put that on there. Let's put this in order. So we've got Giza Pyramid, which is, G is your map ID. So G is, just changing that to the Z to an S. There's no Z in the Welsh alphabet, so I think that's why they called it Zion and not changed it from Sion, but that's another story. So G is A. Sorry, let's try that again. It's AG is your map ID. Okay, so that's the Giza Pyramid. Obviously I've done it and it all fits in, and it makes fits into the triangle or the pyramid and the key over Wales, and the code then gives you Mr. Guy Gumry. Okay, well, if this wasn't enough on its own, looking into the sweet influences of the Pleiades, I came across this place. There are two pyramids, and get the spelling right because it's in Mexico, and there's a lot more to these, which are right. Okay, I have no idea how you pronounce that, but Teotihuacan, yeah. Okay, anyway, right. First thing I did was just literally to put, well, I as soon as I saw it, I don't know why, but as soon as I saw it, it just read out to me, and it says, can you tie to H? Well, we've got G is your map. G is your map ID, which is the G and the G relates to G Roos as well as Gumry Mr. Guy. So the G, and obviously the H is Llanelin. Now these two, whatever it is basically it's two. Well, I think there's more than two there, but there's two main pyramids. There's a pyramid of the sun and the moon, and these are in Mexico. Okay, this gets real bizarre, or miraculous. I shouldn't call it miraculous, but right. Okay, firstly, right, what we're going to do, we're going to use the word pyramid as well in it to make the entire sentence. So it's, can you tie? This is pyramid. Your map ID to H. Well, if you've been watching these videos, what you'll know, this is all about the G and the H. You've got the G, which is G Rus, it's the temple, and this is where this all becomes apparent now, is the lock, and H is Melin, Land Melin, or Mel H, all coded in Melchizedek, just millions of things. But the H is obviously the key fort. So we got the lock and the key. So this is asking, can you tie your map ID to H? So what it's saying, a G is your map ID, so I need to tie it to H. Well, I've pretty much done it already, but it gets much more spectacular than this. Okay, so the G and the H is the lock and the key. Right, what's incredible about this? Right, firstly, the two main pyramids are one to the sun, which is Sol, which is solar. This is where you get your sun and the moon sign in Cancer on the Masonic symbology. And then you get, obviously, your safe zone. And then you've got one to the moon. There's a temple to the sun and a temple to the moon, basically. So a Sol and a moon, which is basically the same as Solomon. So this is connecting Solomon's temple, which is in the G, in the lock. This is the picture of the lock. And just to show you as well, if you remember, I did it, there's a great big picture across the southwest of a dart that gives you a big message, and it sits directly on the temple. Well, the reason it's a dart, because everything seems to have multiple reasons, but you've got a temple and a dart. And the reason for this I've been given is, all you do is move this on there. It's to show that it's temple dart, that the picture, that the lock that is built into the stone, or the padlock, obviously you've got that's the lock, and then you've got the big key. Oh, I don't even know how to draw keys, but you've got this key. You've got this key then, which is at Land, obviously at Land Melin. So this is temple. So the temple dart is in fact meant so that you know it's temple art. It's art. It's a drawing. It's a picture. They're both pictures. It's all symbolic. Okay, right. Now this is where this gets really, really bizarre. Okay, because we're going to tie this. Well, let's just do it. Okay, so you've got a temple of the sun and a temple of the moon. Incidentally, both of these, or I believe both of these temples, at least the sun one does, I'm sure the moon as well, both they face where the Pleiades, or the Pleiades, rises up. So, amazingly, this is all connecting to the Pleiades, which is where I'm going next. And the timing of getting this and doing this on the same video, and I was not even aware that this existed until 2 days ago, just to put that in perspective, so you can see how quickly all this comes on and how quickly it just decodes in front of me. Right, okay, now it gets really crazy. Okay, so can you tie your map ID to H? Right, okay, and our map ID is G, so we need to tie G and H. And we've got, well, firstly, we've got the sun, the place of the sun and the moon. Right. This is where this gets real crazy. Okay. There is a place called, right, firstly, what we're going to do is we're going to go from one point here on a map, and we're going to go across, and this sits into a second point. Okay, these two pyramids, these sun and the moon pyramids, are in this effectively in this area, which is in fact the county of Teotihuacan. Sorry, people, if anyone from Mexico, but I have no idea how you pronounce that. But can you tie to a H? Okay. So that's what that says. So we've got, and in there we've got the sun and the moon. I'm not sure exactly. They're right in the middle of this area, or right, I don't know. They're just off this line. Right. What's so spectacular about this? So this is Teotihuacan, whatever it is. Okay. Right now, this place here, unbelievably, when I go to the map, there it is, standing. It had to be there. A place called. This sun is short for Saint, I'm sure of it, or it's like a, it's definitely, well, it's obviously a Saint thing, I don't know exactly, but without doubt it's connected. San Marcos, net. Okay. So that's this little place here. Right. What does this say? Well, this says San Marcos it's either a plan 10 or a 10 plan, because it's all about reuniting the 10 lost tribes of Israel. And obviously there's a plan to do that, and the plan is to get everybody to the lock and the key, the area of the lock and the key when things start going wrong. And this is what this message is all about. Okay, now if that wasn't bizarre enough, that's there, and there are actually places that surround this as well, and this is worth noting as well. I'm not going to write these up because these names are absolutely, well, if I take the whole board up just on their own. Well, the first one I'm going to try and pronounce as best I can, Santa Maria Cozotlan. Right, San Marco, it on a atlas. This is obviously the anagram. San Martin de las Pyramades. I sane mind, I ride maps atlas. Okay. Right, this one's interesting. San Francisco, Mazapa. San Francisco as a map. Well, San Francisco is actually, it's giving you a timeline actually of what is going on, because San Francisco is me being being the holy head, the real holy head, but at the moment I'm in with Saint Francis, or the other Francis. Okay, and that would be the same as California as well, because there's code in those as well that I picked up as well, quite a few. Okay, San Antonio de la Palmas. Oh, and San Sion Led Atlas Map. Now this one is really, well, crazy. And to pronounce this would take some doing. It says San Lorenzo. Well, I'll just read the letters. TLALMIMILOLPAN. Not a clue how to pronounce that. Well, I couldn't even do it. But what does it say? Unbelievably, letter for letter, it says, a last RIP, Solomon Llanmelin. Llanmelin is obviously Mel, is the H, the Mel H. It's the key fort. This is what it is. So RIP Solomon, last RIP. I think what this is saying, this is the last rest in peace, because the key's been found. That's what I can only assume from it, because this matrix is complex, very complex. Okay, well, just to give you an idea, all those places around there. Now this is where it gets real crazy. Okay, so we need to tie it to, well, we're going to tie it to both of these actually. Oh, and by the way, these two pyramids as well are called temple pyramids. Also, they face, like I say, the Pleiades coming up. Well, I'm about to shine the light on the Pleiades for you, or I will after I've done this pyramid decode. Okay, incredibly, would you believe it? But you draw a line directly through the centre here and follow it along, and you'll never believe where it hits. Bear in mind, this is Mexico, which comes sort of, I don't know where it goes. It sort of comes down this way, and then you've got your South America. This is Florida, and this is Marco's Island. This is the exact place that this hits, is where all the keys, or Marco Island, all the keys that fit the keys for the what's the word, the key lock things on the actual temple itself that I attach, being the alphabet. You've got the alpha and the beta key, the alphabet key. You've got the David key, the pig key, and the pass key. So, and again, not far above there, just above where those are in that little sort of inlet. I don't know what it's like an inlet channel it is, and this is Marco, or it's probably a bit more over this way. And then you've got Marco's Island. Well, this is Marco's Island. This is the little bay with all these keys in. And just above it, another little island, just literally just above it. And pretty much in the same position, I would suggest that the temple where the keys are, where the key is, where the lock is in position in Britain, but comparatively. So you'd have Giroux here and Lanmel in here, which is absolutely bizarre. So you've got the big key and then the five keys that make up the keys on the temple. That would be big key island, and then the pig pass and all the rest of it keys. So as you can see, well, how is this possible? Please, anybody tell me how this is possible. Can you tie, and that would be, can you tie your map ID when I use the pyramid? Obviously, that's what I saw initially. And then I realised, can you tie your map ID? And my map ID is the Giza Pyramid. AG is your map ID. So with the G and the H, these are tying like the pyramids of the moon and the sol, or the sun and the moon, the sol and the moon, the two pyramids. You could not make it up. And then just have a place to stop. Marco, a plan 10. San Marco's a plan 10. Well, the plan 10 is to get basically to reunite, when the time comes, is reuniting the tribes, get them to the safe area, which is obviously in the Solomon Decode, with the moon behind the Cancer constellation that pins it all out. Okay, so there we go. So that's the Teotihuacan pyramid connected to San Marco, a plan 10. Marco's Island, all the keys, the big key, well, those would be the temple, which would be the lock, and that would be the big key, that would be that. So you've got the lock and the key, which fits exactly on the real Solomon's temple and the land of, well, the land of Solomon, basically, the biblical land of Solomon. Absolute genius by the Creator, Yahweh. And he's very real, guys, because I have no doubt. This stuff, this is impossible that this is there. Never mind the fact that well, it has to be. I know people, if they watch one video or maybe two, you might be able to say I'm stretching it to make it fit. But the time scale I've got to make the, well, and what's bizarre is it gives me the answers. I seem to get the answer like when I first decoded the Silures being the Israel, or Jerusalem being Siluran being Jerusalem, as in Jerusalem. At the time of doing it, that's all I had, nothing else to go on. It just came to me in a flash. I wrote it down, and there it was. But and then since then, I just afterwards I find all, well, this is clued everywhere, absolutely everywhere. But to find, obviously, you've got to be able to find it, and that would be the impossible part, is to find all this. I mean, that pyramid, I never even heard of it. Or I might have, in passing, but I'd never heard of it, and certainly would never have thought it had anything to do with this. And 2 days ago, this all just lands, and then as I'm looking, it's just all divine. It's just the timing of it. I really am connected to this tetragrammaton. Whatever that, I don't know exactly what it is, but something is sending these codes or messages or frequency, I don't know what, to me, and then I don't even know. Well, I know it works, but to explain it, well, how do you explain it? It's bizarre, but the results certainly prove, I think, that. Well, I know that these are well, obviously where it's coming from. Okay, right. The next. Right, do you know what? On the grounds that we've just done the Pleiades, so these temples face the Pleiades, so we need to release the sweet influences. Right, first thing in the passage, being Job 38:31, it says, "Canst thou?" Let me just pull it up, just so we got the exact one, the exact wording. Okay, canst thou bind the sweet influences of Pleiades or loose the bands of Orion? Okay. Well, the first thing we got to do, and again, to make all this fit, because you've got to have the coordinates on the ground to give you, well, to give you the question, the answers, and everything else, as you'll see. To make this absolutely impossible to not be purposed and be there. Right, so the first thing we've got, it says, which maker, right, the bow, right, there's a bow bit, there's a bow. This is in code. It says, which maketh Arcturus, Orion, and Pleiades, and the chambers of the south. Right, well, as you know, with the chambers of the south, obviously I've done them, they're all like, it's a mine shaft. That's why I work in Eastlades, yes, Atlas, and then I work with the mine. There's a mine as well, underneath. And Eastlades mine, yes, Atlas mine. So the Chambers of the South is an Atlas mine, or a symbolic one with all these population centres with all these different messages. Right, but, and they are south of the 3-star constellation code. So we've got, right, okay, you've got the first point, which is a stone circle. It's on a place called Grey Hill. There's an ancient stone circle. It's referred to as the ancient landmark in the Old Testament. Okay, right. Then coming down from it, then you've got Lanmelin, for the H, then if you like, or the key, and then down here you've got. Well, roughly the same, give or take the same sort of distance. You've got G-Rus. Well, the first thing you're going to do, well, I know this is Orion's bow. Not only have we got a great big pyramid on the land there as well, and it's all, this is to do with Orion. Why Orion in Egypt, I do not know, but this is all what it is all connecting to. So Arcturus just tells me to Arcturus. Because if I draw this normally, this is what it's a little bit steeper than that. Hang on, let me do that again. Right. Effectively, you've got 1, you've got 2, and you've got, say, 3. It's angled, and there's a reason it's angled, because this gives you. So what you've got, you join up these, as I say, I know I'm going over this again, but it's worth noting because none of it makes sense. That's the key. That's the lock, and that's a stone circle. So those 3 ancient landmarks, all 3 of them make up this bow. Right. What we've got, Arcturus. So the first thing is, this is Orion's bow. So that's Orion taken in. Now we've got Arc. And if you want that, go into that any deeper, just go back to the original Decode and it explains it a lot more. But there you go. What we do is, instead of leaving it as straight lines, it says Arcturus. Well, this being G-Rus. That's where we are Arcturus. And bear in mind as well, this is all in and all under. I think it's all under and around the thing of Taurus, which is Uranus. Interestingly enough, so that's what it's meant for. So Arcturus or Arcturus. So you make Arcturus. Then you've got a place called Carrow Hill, which is Sea Arrow Hill. Well, that's the hill, and this is where the arrow goes, and then we put the string in. Well, this is the band of Orion, and it does mention the band in the furrow as well, in the same sort of area of the Old Testament. Well, the band in the furrow is because this is actually made up of places on the earth, so it would be in the furrow, or sort of in the fields and the countryside. Okay, and he also used a plough, as in the plough, to pull it all up. Anyway, right, well, by releasing the bands of Orion is by firing off this. Even in archery now, the bow, we know it as a bow string, and I think this has been possibly been deliberately changed because it was for, well, they still call this a training band, and really, obviously, when you pull it back, it's an elastic band, or a better version of one, admittedly, but then you fire it. So by actually finding it and pulling it, we're breaking the bands of Orion and firing the bow. Okay, so where is this all going? Well, we've accounted for Orion, we've accounted for Arcturus. All what we don't have is the Pleiades. Although the Pleiades, I think that's the spelling of it, is Pleiades anyway, which is a general thing. And boy, is there a lot of IDs. So Pleiades, well, as you know, I put down these stars. We've got the one by here is actually I put this as Orion before all the pyramid stuff. That being Clanfair Discoid, you tie it with Worcester, which is Rose Secret. So you've got a Clanfair Rose Secret. It used to be Iscode or Iscoid, which is code. They've added a D, but that gives you another one. But let's not get too deep in. Look back on the videos, and it'll all make, like I say, it all makes sense. So this is the bow. Okay. Now this line, when I run it from Carrow Hill directly through the Key Fort in Llanelin, and I run this line straight as a die, it hits on the opposite side of the country a place called Mablethorpe. Right, I'm going to have to, right, as you can see, right, there's the bow, but this is how you find the coordinates. You draw the bow, you take the point with the arrow, you take the point with the centre of the bow, and you draw a line directly through it, and it has to be pinpoint. Okay, now I'm going to get rid of that, but where it hits is, right, a place called, and I'm going to write it down here because this is the answer to the sweet influence. Well, as you'll see, it's a Mablethorpe. Now, I hate putting these out, or I used to, but I'm sort of getting a bit more. Well, I'm confident now that what I'm writing, I clearly am not making any of this up, and it's not just me randomly talking nonsense. Obviously, these things have to be there, or I can't put them out there. But I let the code do the talking, and boy, does it talk on the next one, and Sweet Influences Pleiades. Right, okie. Okay, right, to get the... Right, this, believe it or not, is like I say, is the answer to the statement that the Pleiades, which effectively is all the stars in the Pleiades, which are actually 9 in total. 9 is quite a significant number as well. The tribe of the Silurians is the 9th tribe. I've realised this, but right, even though it's called the 7 Sisters, there are actually 9 stars. There are, well, if you go by Greek mythology, there are 2 parents, Cleone and Atlas. That should give it away a little bit. Right, okay, but what? Right, I actually thought these were individual ones, but obviously I just know when something's not right, and obviously it's just all unravelled in front of me, and here we go. Right, firstly I'm going to write. Let me make sure I get the spelling right. Cleo. There's a big clue. This is a huge clue. And this one. If you're familiar with Bible speaking, then you'll know that the elect, the rope's not familiar, but you'll see where that comes in now. Here's the second giveaway. rope, knee rope. Tied together, and Atlas, massive giveaway that one. You know there's a message in it when you've got that word right. Okay, so these are all the Pleiades, or the Pleiades ID. So there's something of an, well, there's an ID in amongst this, and it is because it's the most incredible anagram sentence. And what makes it even more stunning is obviously you need to know the coordinates of the bow to find Mablethorpe, but this gives you the finishes this statement, as you'll see. Right, I'm not going to cross these out, but you can see them there. You can go and check this, pause the video, write these down if you wish, write down the sentence, and then or just work it. But I can assure you this is exactly what this says. Again, I don't need to claim anything. This just claims everything for me. But it's bizarre. Well, obviously I've got a big role to play. Okay. It says Pleiades 1. Obviously you got Ple, but obviously the A comes out from there, and then you obviously deduct the letters. Pleiades 1. This is the only phonetic is a C, and I think the C is because the third tribe, again, the third tribe being the letter C would be 3, the third letter of the alphabet. The tribe is the regenesis as well, which is, or Zebulon, zebra, lion. That's how the initial decoder got from it. A bit more turns out from that, but they use Zebulon, and the tribe is the regenesis or something, which is effectively the regenesis. And I think this is what this is all relating to, and this is why you get Cancer is C, answer, Biark, and there's numerous things with the letter C. Maybe that's why the Masons use the 3, I don't know, or the 33 maybe, but whichever. Okay, all C. E1. On Atlas. This is to do with the pyramid, with the guy being Mr. Guy in the pyramid, or the triangle of the GUY over Gumri, basically, Mr. Guy Gumri, and that's what that represents. Pleiades, well, I need to play this because this is the sweet influence, and it is sweet for me because it backs up everything I've been saying. So Pleiades 1, all CE1 on Atlas. Okay, so you can all go on the Atlas, my Atlas version, and see my picture and see where Guy and Gumri comes into this. Okay. Okay. Oh, hang on, sorry, skipped a bit. Right, now this one you need a bit of biblical knowledge because it says, I'll explain this bit first. See, see, people say this and they think I am, and they're referring, they're like chosen or something. But clearly I am chosen because this is, as you'll see now, but I am, what does that mean? It means when Moses went down, when he got sent or was going to speak to the Silurians and tell them he'd come to rescue them, basically, he asked Yah, what do I tell them? How do I identify myself? And Yah says, tell them that I am, and I am sent me. So I am means that, well, I'm obviously doing the same. I'm trying to pull everybody out of Egypt and what's coming, or the Egyptian system of slavery that we're in, effectively, and Babylonian system is all the same. Rome, all three of them, triaxis of evil. But this is it's almost like I'm doing, sort of redoing it in a modern way. But that's what an I am is. And like I say, I would never ever go around saying I am this or I am that, or it's just not me. But clearly, well, as you'll see, this is what it's saying. I am arc, because I'm the arc, the connector. This is all to do with the arc in making the connection to the arc. It's like the spark to the tetragrammaton, which is downloading. So it's like the connection. I I am arc elect. Well, the elect is an elected one, and this is tried like gold in the fire. Well, tried gold is called electrum, and when you add the G Rus I into it to make Jerusalem, you bracket the word, bring it down, it says IG Rus. Well, basically is I am the elect one, and that's what it means. But yeah, there we go. And like I say, I do not like throwing words like this around, and it's not even. Wow, I never expected to even be doing this, but there we go. Okay. He set me a rope. Bear in mind, you need a rope from a crane to pull people in, and the crane is Jerusalem. So the rope fits on the crane. The crane has got the rope. As crazy as that sounds, this is what it is. Okay, he set me a rope. Get rope at. Now, this is where it makes it spectacular, because the answer to this, where you get the rope, is written in Mablethorpe. Because Mablethorpe is rope B at Mel H. As you know, Mel H is Lammelin. This is the place where he's throwing you a rope of salvation, basically, with everything that's coming. He's putting a rope out there for you to know where to go, and you know where to get to, basically. So it's obviously a symbolic rope, but he's giving us a chance to get out of what's coming. But but you need to get this message out, guys and girls. As you can clearly see, I'm not making this stuff up, and there's no way that you can make this fit. Even if you can make a sense out of that, to get the answer and a picture that actually with coordinates and breaks a bit, and what else could he possibly mean by releasing the bands of Orion or something about the sweet influence? Can they release the sweet influences of the Pleiades or whatever? Well, what are the sweet influences? These are the sweet influences. They're there to influence you, to show you that they're basically, or to try and help show you that what I'm doing is very real, and what I'm warning you against and about. But in turn, it's also showing that all this was put there because man did not name all these stars with a message in them, and he certainly didn't place the ancient. Well, he might have placed the ancient stones then somewhere along, back in the ancient days. Then he's obviously, it's impossible. But to have this, so Pleiades 1 or CE1 on Atlas, well, that is referring to the Mr. Guy Gumry on the last Giza Pyramid ID. I am and I am. I don't know why or how it's me, but well, I know one thing, this was all pre-planned, and I'm starting to get the impression through different things, there's other codes that I've not shown yet, that are telling me that I knew about this before I even came to this world. I don't remember any of it, but it's all it says I'd forgotten about the plan H, or I forget the plan Angel forget all in H or something. Clanviangle Roggett, I think it is the place, Clanviangle Roggett, but there's a message in that which is not far from where G-Roos is. Okay, so I am an arc-elect. I am arc-elect. He sets me a rope. Get rope at. Well, where's the rope? The rope being at Mel H. Where's Mel H? That's the key fort that connects to the. Look at it. And how is it all this? Impossible to be coincidence, guys and girls, and it is no way. And right, and just now, and here's where it gets even more incredible. Right, you can, like I say, if you wish to check this letter for letter, this is what it says. The only phonetic is 1C. Other than that, this message is clear. That's the stars. That's the place on the ground with the last bit there. check it yourselves. No way was this done by any man, or is it coincidence? It's impossible. Okay. And the reason I was checking the Pleiades and came across or checking the sweet influences of the Pleiades was just to see what sort of thing. And there's nothing that makes any sense whatsoever, other than somebody mentioned that these whatever it is, pyramid in Mexico. Okay, right, just right, and another little puzzle within the land. Okay, if you go into it's roughly near Swansea. Okay, this is where it gets real bizarre. Right in an area where you have a place called Seven Sisters. Now, bear in mind, the Seven Sisters are the Pleiades. That's what they're called. So the Pleiades, Seven Sisters. They're seven sisters with two parents, but it obviously all makes a message. Right. I'm trying to draw this roughly as it would be on the map, but this is difficult now because this is going to be a lot longer. This thing. But what you've got is by here you have a place called Melin Court. Incidentally, a court in Welsh is spelled with a W. C-W-R-T is a court of stars as well. But there's more. But there's a code. There's a reason this is court. Not only is it because it's Hebron, which is an anagram of Brechon, which is the old law, Brechon law, which brings it away from the Israel on the other side of the world that just doesn't fit anything, the fake one. But further up now, we've got a place called, and this is all out of sync, guys, but resolving. Okay, so what are we resolving? Because this is what we're doing, resolve. Okay, incredibly, and these would actually be a tad closer, and that would be a tad higher. And I think what this is meant to be is like some sort of hook. It's just a lot sort of thinner. It's a lot more sharp looking than this. This is not very good at all. And this would be lower down. Actually, it would be sort of here, actually, in real terms. So, and what you do is you draw a line from Melin Court through Resolven, follow it all the way across, and have a guess where it hits. Bear in mind, this says Seven Sisters. Bang on, Mablethorpe. Same exact place as the Seven Sisters, the Pleiades, which is the message where the Pleiades fits as well. Oh, I don't know how you spell it, something like that. Please ID, Mablethorpe. It hits it for a second time. Now, what's the code? Right. Now, this is actually a clever code because Melin, and like I say, it's the place of the law. It's Hebron, which is Brechon, which is another code. You know, it's the biblical name for Land Melin. Okay, so Melin Court. Well, right, it's a code because Melin, and the court is actually a magistrate's. This is the code in it. Okay, and the reason for this being magistrates is because this is an anagram of ties and G star, G root. So it's, well, again, it's tying the G and the H, the lock and the key, the two forts together, the safe zone, everything. You couldn't make it up. This actually, I was going to avoid this one, but why not? What the heck? Just to show you again, well, I know I found this place. It's just amazing that I just come across. I just go to these places and here they are. Right, if you take a line from St. David's Head. Bear in mind, David is just a divine, you can call it a divine because it's either advine or it's an ID vine, but whichever one, it's divine, advine, divine, same thing. So this is a divine ID. Okay, right, unbelievably, you go right across to the other side of the world, to the Ukraine. And where it took me to, incredibly, is Uman. A place called Uman, which is, well, Uman. That's it. But bear in mind, it's in the Ukraine, which is are in UK. So your man are in UK. Your man. Okay. Now this is where it gets bizarre. You draw this. Take a line from St. David's. It does this huge arc, which I think is to do with the Ukraine bow, a Ukraine bow. He says about the rainbow and the promise. I think this is the goal at the end of the rainbow is the divine ID. Okay, and it does this massive arc and it lands there. Now, what's amazing is where it hits in the UK. Go on, have a guess. The exact place it crosses. So you get a divine ID. You, man, are in UK. Mablethorpe. So not, well, how is that possible? Coincidence 3 times? I don't think so, not even once. I wasn't going to show that today, but there you go. Just we'll have it in for a penny, in for a pound, as they say. So there we go. So Mablethorpe, and again, as I say, the Mablethorpe is whatever it was in it? Ropey at Mel H. The Ropey at Mel H. Maybe this is the rope going out. I don't know. Perhaps he's tossing the rope, but it's showing the minute it begins as well. And then you've got Russia as well, Rus SIA. This is all to do with them coming across the 3 ribs in the mouth and coming down through Britain on that subject. I meant to do this one just when it was, well, it's still relevant because it was written in the stars long. Remember, all this really is prophecy because even though I'm encoding it now, it was already there and has been since whenever. But here's a star constellation decode fitting onto a place name on the ground and giving you something incredible. Okay. Okay. Canis Minor. Okay, right. This is called the Lesser Dog. Right. Well, the code behind it, well, on the 23rd of the 4th, and I got this, I knew he was going to win, I knew he was going to win this election, was the French election. Okay, and this is all predicted because this says Macron is in, and he sure did. I knew he was going to win it before he even won it. Macron is in. Okay, how does, right, where does, right, this, now Canis Minor, you know, obviously I put places and there's all these different codes in one. I've got more of them as well yet to come. Right, Canis Minor connects on the ground when you place a star onto it, onto the place in Wales, is a place called Llanfrecfr. Okay, Llanfrecfr is an anagram of, and this is all to do with the bear coming down, and they basically, it says that they overflow the sanctuary, which is obviously where the key and the lock is, and the safe zone. But this is to do with the Russians coming down. They're going to go through British like a knife through butter, from what I see of it. French fall A. Well, Canis Minor is known as the lesser dog. So the French fall, a lesser, right, Macron is in, French fall, a lesser dog. Why is it called the lesser dog? Because he's baiting, the dog baiting the bear. That's what this is all about. They've been baiting the bear. Macron has been, you know, they're all sort of pushing their luck, and Boris is prodding it really badly, and he's talking to sending battleships to break the blockade in the Black Sea, I think it is, which, well, you can see where this is all going. Also worth noting that these 3 ribs in the mouth, with the Finland and Sweden being the catalyst for this to really go off and head this way. They've already, Sweden and Finland are actually the 2 that have just agreed to join NATO, and Russia has threatened to wipe off the face of the earth. If you don't know, because they're not telling me much on media, on normal media, but Putin has stuck 300 Satan nuclear missiles, basically, along the Finnish border. So I think this is all playing out exactly to the well, I know it is exactly to what. Well, you can see where it's all going. That's for certain. Okay, so right again, I don't want to run this one over too much. I've got certain more yet though. Right, okay. Right, Eastern Spear. There's another spear, lots and lots of spears coming in. Again, this is all to do with the Book of Job, where he says, can they draw out Leviathan with a hook? Well, I actually did draw him. Oh, incidentally, he says something about putting a hook in his nose. Well, roughly where his little nostril would be on the map of Wales, you've got the Eye of Horus on Brecon. That sits on Abertillery because it's B artillery. It's a bow as well. This is not a very good drawing. It's been, in fact, all the wrong way round. I don't know why I'm so fussy with this, but it's going to be that way. And then you've got this piece of the thing. This is the tanglement in his mouth, which runs across. This is your K-E-Y again. This is a picture of Leviathan. That's Brecon, B Recon. The town of Brecon, that's Abertillery, B artillery, because I say the bow that goes that way hits Lewisham, etc. Because I thought I was making a bow, not at the time, didn't even realise I was making a shark. Anyway, getting to the point, he says something about can you hook his nostril? Well, there's a place just where his nostril would be called Welsh Hook. In West Wales, somewhere by, I think it's by David or Pembroke or somewhere around there. But either way, it fits perfectly. It says a Welsh hook, so can you hook his nostril or something? That one. And then you've also got can you bury a thorn in his jaw? Well, just in his upper jaw, it's in his upper jaw slightly, but you've got thornberry, or thornberry as we would call it. Can you bury a thorn in his jaw? Just to show you that there's all these little place names and clues all in this map now. And then you've got your spear coming down. This is the big one coming up, which I found something absolutely incredible on that. In fact, you know what? I might even do that one now and leave this other one because I don't want to run over. But right, yeah, no, let's do the big one. Right, okay. There's something I missed. That is, well, I say missed. I'm not. Again, it's probably I get these extras just to remind me. I think just the. Bear with me. Oh, there we are. Right. On this big spear that comes in from Holy Island. What I realised, I've got another spear that comes in, and I'll do that actually now. I think I should have time. That comes in this way. But what I realised was on doing this spear, there's a little bit. It's a bit better than that. Let's go. This is what it's more like what they like. Right. Okay. What I realised on this one, there's a little bit more detail than I initially thought. And where this spear. It looks, this southern spear, the eastern spear that I'm going to give you the coordinates and everything with the code in it now, that's coming in from the side, has got this sort of like, as you would expect, like it's sort of like a rim thing. Well, I didn't realise, but obviously you've got Chester, which is secret H. Oh, without going into it, you've got Manchester here, you've got Eccles, Ecclesiastes, Eccles, Lycetas. This leads to Holy Island, land is holy. This is Dinham, or just off the Llamelin, the Mel H, because this is all about the secret H. That's what Chester is. Manchester is secret H, man. Chesterfield is secret if lead H. Then you've got just off Llamelin, just literally to the side of it, just inside the army base, is a place called Dinham. which is IDH man. Okay, so you know, you can see obviously you've got all these things. This sits on Holy Island. This is the Book of Ecclesiastics. Manchester is Secret H man. Again, go back over it, you'll see there's so much more to this one. Right, and this all leads from Melchizedek. So it says Mel seek HID, which is Melin, and then you seek off the HID and you get all these places. Makes this great big spear. But what I missed was that right about the same as on this one, around about this sort of point here, maybe a little lower, I don't know, you have this sort of, I don't know whether you call it ornate or a bit more detail on the spear. Well, unbelievably, this place, and it sits absolutely pinpoint on this line, is which one is it? It's one of the muches. I think it's Much Wenlock. Let me just double check that, guys and girls. Just make sure we got this right. It's one of them. It's definitely one of them. Clear that one. 2 seconds. It's easy enough to find now because I've only got to draw the line from Lamelli. Where's Lamelli? There it is. Measure distance. Holy Island. Where are you? Bear country. There it is. Right, which much is it? 10 miles. This end, isn't it? Where are you? Unfortunately, some of these places are so small, you have to go right in. Oh, let's just pin it in. Let's be Much Wenlock. Yeah, pinpoint. There he is. Much Wenlock. Just double checking, guys, so I know which much it is. But it is Much Wenlock. And right, what's amazing about this is you've got well, I'll call it the Much code, which is made up of 4 places with the name Much, and it actually says, bear in mind I didn't realise this tied with this spear, but I didn't notice it, and I don't know, I was looking down this line and I spotted that this was right in the exact place when I checked it. Marco unlock Much, Crib Arc Mel, so connect Crib, Mel and the unlock, which was the temple lock. Much when we see CH. There's also another spear come from this one, which comes from Wind Secret H, Wind Canton. CH, Pin Map H, that's Chippenham. Then you've got Marco's H, which is Caution, where I am, just off it. And and then on the other side, you've got Keynsham, which is Keys H man. Okay, so you've got 3 literal spears coming in. I'll give you the codes for this one next. But as you can see, Much Wenlock sits perfectly there. So there's a message. Not only have you got all these secret, well, the chest, and the chest, and the chest. Manchester, Chester, and Chesterfield. 3 treasure chests, really. That's what they are as well. It's all relevant. And then you've got the Secret H-man, and it all identifies ID H-man, I'm the H-man, I'm at Caution now, Marco, which is an anagram, Marco's H. Okay, so, do you know what, actually, guys and girls, I'm going to leave it. I'm not going to do this spear now, because if I don't get this wrapped up, I won't be able to upload it, and I think I've got quite a bit there to keep you going anyway. So, as you can see, it's all planned, all meant to be. Please get right with the creator, please share. Please share these videos. Like I say, even if you hate me and you don't like me and I annoy you, possibly, I'm sure I do some people. Please, just for the sake of, the more people that know about this safe zone, and like I say, I'm not asking. This is not like I'm not asking anyone to go out there and preach Jesus, we ain't coming. But you know, and rely on a book that, you know, that's got no beef to it, and there's nothing to prove it. Everything I'm showing you is it's a miracle. It's miraculous. There is no way on earth I could make this up, and I'm not even, well, where I thought this was going and where I am is just bizarre. I don't even know, you know, this is all just a lot, you know, it's been a lot to take in as well, and I don't know, but all, like I say, all I ask is just please, just even if you don't like or share, comment. And thank you for the comments, those who have commented. Really appreciate it. And I really, it's difficult to know whether this message is, whether the people are seeing this message. And then every now and again, when I get the comment, you know, I get somebody comments and says, you know, well, that one said astonishing, that was perfect, thank you for that. You know, because it just lets me know that I'm not, you know, this is not, it's so difficult to know whether this is landing, you know, on, or making sense to people even, because it is complex if, you know, if you don't, certainly if you don't follow it from the beginning, you know, well, I say from the beginning, and you don't even need to go right back to the beginning, but you can clearly see this is all a pattern matrix. And it says I am, yeah, well, I am is am tricks as well, matrix. It's all tricks in the matrix from am to am. That's, you know, please, guys and girls, Yah's blessings to you. Just please share and like, share this video, and I'll, you know, catch up with you soon.